Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Level Up Live. Today, we are working with composer Chance Martin. Chance is a very special friend because he's actually our moderator, one of our moderators here on YouTube Live. So give him a big fist bump and welcome him to the show. So excited. Today, we're working on his track called Pure Nostalgia. Now, you might notice that it's a little darker around here than usual. We're doing this at nighttime tonight for the foreseeable future until this whole social distancing craziness passes and we kind of normalize with our schedule. Many of you know that I have 4 kids and they got to be in bed for me to do live streams since they're home 24/7. So this is going to be our new time moving forward until things kind of stabilize a little bit. So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an hour or two, just depending on what we're doing. But this will be our dedicated live stream time each week. So set your calendars, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then hopefully once things normalize again, that'll be back to the normal 11 a.m. time, Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays. Moving on, I'm really excited about this track because as you could probably hear, there's a lot of really cool retro video game references kind of hidden in there. So Chance is both a composer and a remixer. He loves to do covers of popular video game tunes. He is super inspired by Zelda, Pokemon, Mario, and I even heard some Tetris in there. This is my first time hearing it, and I do want to quickly give a little behind the scenes, a little bit of not a disclaimer, but just a reality check that anytime you're working with other people, and in this case, I am acting as a producer for this track, part of Level Up Live. I'm producing his track. He composed it. You got to make sure that you're using the same sample rate with your tracks. And so a quick little story before we jump in here as people are piling into the chat. When I opened up a brand new session to toss all of his stems, which are just exported WAV files from his session, for me to work on them today, I threw them into my session, which is a 48 kilohertz 24-bit session. That's the industry standard. So if your sessions are not set to that, you're going to encounter a number of issues that are going to mess up other people when you collaborate. And so what happened was I threw them all in there, and all of a sudden the tempo was super out of whack. It's like certain WAV files were working, certain ones weren't, and it was just super discombobulated. I couldn't find a tempo. I couldn't find the time signature because it was just like some were fast, some were slow. They were not lining up. I couldn't make an even cut. And so I started looking at it. I'm like, wait a second, are these not all the same sample rate? Because there's a lot of sampling in this. He's using a lot of, like little sound effects and stuff to help emulate the retro sound. So this is obviously a pretty common problem that producers and composers run into. So what I had to do to make this work is I opened up a blank session of Pro Tools, and it's not enough to just drag the files into Pro Tools because then it'll actually read the original files, but rather if you use the import audio command with Pro Tools, it acts as a really cool converter because you can actually hit the convert all button and it'll take the original files and convert all of them into the current session sample rate settings that you have. So I created a new Pro Tools session, which was 48K with 24-bit sample rate. And I believe some of his stems were 16-bit 44.1, which obviously does not line up. And maybe some of them were 48, I don't know, but they were not lining up. But by hitting that convert all and then tossing out new stems, now I can import them into a blank Cubase session, which is my DAW of choice for today. And now everything works and everything lines up. And so I found my tempo, which is 150 BPM, and now we can make some music. So I always ask when working on Level Up Live with composers, I always ask for the MIDI information as well. Sometimes we use it, sometimes we don't, but the idea is that right here, we can at least see the notes. That way, if I want to use my own instruments, we can. So I just made a little folder here with MIDI. And then similarly, I made a stems folder, which I should probably take a second and click and drag all these in to a folder. One of the most beautiful parts of Cubase is its folder system. You can have infinite folders within folders, like on Windows Explorer. or a Mac. So it's just a really cool thing. You can very easily organize your sessions and color code them and all that fun stuff. So I think I will color code them just so I don't lose my mind. Let's make the MIDI red. That way I know not to use them unless we have to. I'll make the stems a nice pretty blue, nice royal blue. How's that? That's not royal. That's like indigo. Cool. Saving my session so we don't blow it up to shreds. Another cool thing that you can do when you're making folders is you can hit the M or S button to solo or to mute. Very quickly, you can mute all of the MIDI or all of the stems. Very quick way to audition things and get some stiffs done. And I accidentally hit Command D, or I'm on PC, so Control D. Whoopsies. I made two of them. Go away. Cool. So yeah, this is a really cool track. I think in the midst of that, I destroyed. Golly, I need to just chill out, dude. I'm working a little too fast. There we go. Now everything's back to normal. Sorry, Chance. Cool. So I think we're ready to make some music. So hey, as we get started here, what's up, Yukado? I hate Mygo, Elevator. Got a bunch of people hopping into the chat here. A quick little question from I Hate Mago. Do you offer any personal training or courses on how to really compose SNES-inspired music for beginners? I do. Check out stephenmalin.com/courses. You can see all my courses there. I'm putting a little link in the chat bar. You can click on that link. That'll take you to a page of all my courses. One of them there is called the video game music composition. Just check it out. I go pretty in depth of 16-bit music, 8-bit music, and just how to sample, how to synthesize, and how to recreate that style. Because a big part of my sound personally is I love to sample. I love everything that Chance is doing here because this is right up my alley. And I do want to make sure I don't usually type into this chat here. Let me see if I type the HTTPS, what happens? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Cool. I have to put the HTTPS for it to become a clickable link, but now you can click that. Yippee skippy. But yeah, go check it out. I think you'll really enjoy that video game course. Highly rated. I love making videos and courses for you guys. So here we go. So right off the bat, this is already a really cool piece of music. For those just hopping in, here's a little taste of it. Let me jump to the good stuff right in the middle. And I apologize, my mic was turned down a little bit. So if I'm all of a sudden shouting at you, sorry, not sorry. There, now my levels are a little bit more even. Sorry about that. I was actually singing earlier today. That's why my mic was so low. I don't sing too often, but I'm working on a musical right now. Musicals are fun. I never knew how much I enjoyed writing musicals until last year. I started getting hired to do musicals. What? And that's not my wheelhouse at all, but apparently it is. I'm actually deeply inspired by Disney and the 90s era, the golden era of, Alan Menken, Steven Schwartz, and all those dudes. Apparently I'm quite good at it, and people like to pay me lots of money to do it, so I'm going to keep doing it. I don't have a great singing voice, at least I don't think so, but I have to make demos, so I'm over here like, jamming on the keyboard and just sound like a fool. But I actually have an orchestrator I work with, a Disney orchestrator that I send all my stuff off to, and then he orchestrates it, and then we get live musicians and we make stuff happen. We get the vocalist on it. It's wild. This whole collaboration thing is just absolutely insane. And to think, I know I'm rambling here today, but I haven't taught you guys in a while. I love live streaming. It's just crazy how here we are in the midst of COVID-19 and it's wrecking people's lives and everything. And I don't take that lightly, but I'm so thankful that I've paved a career that is multifaceted, and I have constant work and I have constant contracts across the board in video games, podcasts, musical, courses, book, music packs, and YouTube videos, and there's a lot of things I'm doing, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to diversify. And in moments like this, I'm unaffected, and I encourage you guys to be the same way and to if you have the skill sets to stretch out and get a lot of things, I like to call them ships. Send out a lot of ships. That way, some of them can bring back gold, some won't. Just do a lot of things and don't limit yourself. Let the opportunities come. Yeah. Anyway, lots of cool friends here. Appreciate you guys being here. So let's have some fun, shall we? Level Up Live. So Chance, I love this track. It's really special, and honestly, if I didn't touch it, it'd be fine. It's a good track, all in all. But the one thing I feel is missing that I want to work on today is the dynamic contrast. So what that means, let me get my face back up here. What that means is I want the lowers to be lower, the highs to be higher. So I want there to be a wider gap, a wider delta between the super intense, awesome moments and the very chill moments. So to me, right now, the intro and outro are actually the weakest parts. The thickness of the middle is really good. I'm not going to change the little sound effects. I think those are stellar. Like putting the little the Zelda. That's a 1-up from Mario. And the little Triforce sound and those kind of things. Those are really cool. I like those references, so I'm not going to mess with those. But where I feel like this could really be more beefed up is in the bass. Right now it's very clean. I like that. I think clean is good. But I think it could be a little bit raspier, a little bit more on the edge. Right now it's like a intensity level 7 out of 10, and I think we could bump it to 10 or 11. And I feel like the beginning spot. Obviously that's the fairy fountain theme from Zelda. It's pretty good, but I feel like we're starting way too intense. We're starting at like a 5 when we could start like a 2 and really build. And EDM in general has this kind of the mantra of EDM is to start very small, thin, and then grow, then have a drop, and then kind of suck you into, right? To really hit those downbeats hard and to suck us in. And I'm not feeling that right now. I don't feel like I could drop the needle, so to speak, or my little marker here. I feel like if I just dropped it at any spot, not every time will I land on something super interesting. And that's the danger of a 3-minute track like this is you got to make every second count because you never know. I hope that you'll put this on Spotify. I hope you'll put this, Sound Drop, etc., to put this on all the stores. If someone's listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, they might just click and all of a sudden they landed on this exact second. Okay, we got lucky. That was kind of cool. But you might go here. You just lost a listener. I know that's really how this goes, That's the world we live in. People have 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds to catch someone's attention at any spot in the track. So if you don't make every spot suck you in and like grab you, it's not going to work. So some of the things that I hear it's not so much a mix issue because you're a good mixer, Chance, and I like what you're doing here. I feel like we just got to really work on it's more of a tone quality, which I guess is a mix thing, but there's some individual instruments. I think I want to work more on EQ today and on seeing what extra little sounds we can supplement with. You ready? So let's do it. So right now that wow, that thing, let's find it. I want to work with the audio first. I think it's this main pad. Yeah, that's just annoying. So I'm going to try my best here to toggle between my 2 screens. Let's see how effortlessly I can do this. So we got these 2. Sorry, I'm like flipping screens. Let's just do this. So over here we have the main pad that we're using. I want to try getting a Fab Filter Pro Q. Wow, I grabbed the wrong one. What a noob. There we go. Open it up. I want to take this thing. I want to do just a crazy filter on it. Let's listen to it with the filter. right? You got to do something to suck us in here. So I feel like that's going to be an easy fix, just to do a little automation there. Chance says in the chat that he's done some automation. Did you do a filter sweep, perchance? See, I use his name. Get it? Let's go over to my other screen. La 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 la. I like for you to see what I'm doing. So let's go to the main pad. We're going to turn automation on. Very quick and easy way to do that is within the plugin. Every DAW can do this somehow. If we hit the little R button for read, that'll play whatever automation we do. But more importantly, let's hit the W to write automation. And then we're just going to drag it along like this. And that's all I wanted to do. That's it. Piece of cake. And I accidentally hit the record button. That was stupid. And there we are. And then let's turn the right button off so that it only reads. Now if I play, hooray. See that? I know it's super simple, but sometimes simplicity is all you need. Here it is together. Okay. I feel like this little fairy fountain ditty. It's a nice little 8-bit-ish nod. But I want to try, without opening up the actual patch and screwing around with a synth, I think EQ can really do a lot. So let's try EQ first, see if that can solve some things. We can turn the analyzer on to see what's actually happening. So I feel like we need to boost the mid just a little bit. And I want to take the high and just automate this one as well. So let's do that. Let's hit the R and the W, make some magic, take it off solo so we can hear what's going on. Here we go. Cool, and that's really where the big drop is, right? So I'll turn off the right. Let's leave it on read. So even though it's super simple, what I did is I tried to ride the automation to where every, I guess if we're in 4/4 time, 150 BPM, every 8 bars or every 4 bars, you notice how there's a little bit of a little wave I tried to make. There's no real precision here. I'm just trying to match it. I think it's good so far. So I think there's an element missing here. So I'm going to add a new instrument now. Let's grab massive because I feel like that's going to be kind of our lane here today to create. I want, let's just call it warm pad for now. I don't want to do anything too crazy here, but I want a patch, a pad. So let's just grab a default for now, something airy. Where's my fingers? There we go. Cool. Like that. Something to kind of hover in the background. I love that there's a ton of delay on there. Let's just leave it alone for now. We can always sweep it into place. Let's just see how that feels. Oh yeah, so you're taking that little melody and you're actually changing the harmony every beat. trying to help fill in the mid-range. It's currently missing. We have the highs and a little bit of the mid-lows happening, but there's this little frequency space that's missing because everything so far is very punchy, very retro sounding, but we need something in the background to help glue. Lots of glue. So let's start at a low octave and then we'll go up a high octave. All right, Chance just said, sorry, after a while the fairy fountain switches to just match the chord progression of the rest. Yeah, I caught that. So I'm trying to be more ambient here in the beginning. Put a filter on that guy. Let's see what we can do. I like that a lot. What do you think, Chance? Especially that little pitch drop at the end, which kind of helps get us in. Turn off the right. This part. There it is in context. Maybe to help this out one more notch is if we add whatchamacallit, Valhalla Shimmer. Let's shimmer it up a little bit. Let's spice it up. All right, for this guy, let's do a huge size of 50. Let's do big stereo. This is a chorused reverb. Let's try like 30%. Here's what it sounds like just by itself. It's a little wild. If I just hit spacebar. Right, it just goes on for like days. So that's something really cool right about here. That's so cool. It just like puts this handprint. So I want to try that upper octave once it gets intense. that's really the first time we get out of that D minor or D5 area anyway, so that's pretty good. Cool. So at any point, chance, if you don't like something, let me know. Work with these drums a little bit. Beef them up. Okay, so we got these 8-bit drums. It's a cool little phrase. So let's take that. Let's do something. Right now, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So I feel like gotta do something to boost the bass. We also gotta do something to liven it up a little bit. So I'm feeling some 1989 Verb, which is really great on drums. So I'm thinking like a little shiny shine. See the difference? Here it is without it. Very dry. With it. In context. Just a little bit more space. Not so much punching us in the face. But at the same time, we need to do something to get that kick. I'm just going to compress it. We do that before the reverb. Compressor, let's do Pro C. Let's take threshold ratio to nothing. Let's take a little bit of attack, a little bit of release. All right, so we're kind of working with multiple layers of perk here. I want to make sure we're addressing this default like sample drums at the bottom. Cool. So this noise drums part, gotta tame him. I can't even talk. Tame him down as well. So let's over here in the mixa noise drums. Let's do a bit of compression on him too. Okay. Let's also just toy with some delay. See if that can help fill in some gaps. toying around with some EQ here. I love that bass because it's so authentic. Got lots going on here. I love it. I love that he's starting off with an 8-bit bass. And all of a sudden he goes into like this really heavy, probably omnisphere or massive. Let's bump that bass. Let's go. I love that Final Fantasy that's Final Fantasy 6, the little sound effects. Here's a little Pokemon battle section. I like this, but it's like it's swimming a little bit. Let's kind of define that. Give it more mid-range there. And also, it's going to sound weird, but I want to put guitar rig on that. To add some like a guitar distortion pedal. See if that can help brighten that up a little bit. So let's do a guitar amp. Let's try. That would just sound like a synth, but I don't want to go over the top, but I want to match this with the bass anyway. So I'm really just going for mid-range here. There's a million ways you can do this. Like that one, like a screamer. Just play with it for a minute. Whoops, what did I do? Isn't that funny? Listen to the original. this one, let's double it. Let's keep the original and match it with the crazy distortion. I'll just put distorted there. The original, let's just leave it alone. Maybe match these two to feel better. That's so cool. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. All the Final Fantasy cursor stuff. It's a little loud. Be able to recognize the Final Fantasy VI Terrace theme, the main theme. And I'm kind of poking around here, but I'm just kind of knocking stuff out as I hear it. So this is simulating a harp. This arpeggio sound. I like that it's... I like it. It's a little clashy. Okay, Chance is saying the main pad is missing. So you're saying this is basically like the beginning. Let me just pop it in. Hopefully you agree with what I'm about to do. Like that. Isn't that funny how much that guitar thing kind of messes it up at the end, so we don't have to use that. I'll mute it for now. It does add a lot of grit to it though. It's kind of nice. I feel like that needs to be like the telephone booth type sound. Makes it a lot of space for other things. I like it. You like it, Chance? Others in the chat, let me know who's here. Chime in. Shall we talk? I think I broke this. There we go. I put it in mono on accident. Yeah, let's work on that there melody. It's a little too sharp, like pokey. It needs some chorus. That's what it's missing. That's why it's getting so lost in the mix here. This guy. You can do it in massive, but I don't want to ruin your patch. So let's just throw some good old chorus on top. See what we can do with it. That one element, just listen to how much of an effect that has. Here it is without it. Chorus is a very powerful effect if you use it wisely. Here's without. It's very perfect. Let's make it imperfect. Other element that I feel like it really needs is delay. So let's put a stereo delay on this guy and see how that feels. Let's do 8th note or 16th note. Cool, and before the stereo delay, I'll actually put a reverb. Let's do a very artificial one, like true verb. Just put on the default super electronic verbs. You wouldn't, actually that's Waves, let's not use that. Let's use, I don't know, Roomworks, something cheap. I don't want a real reverb. Chance, oh chance. Listen to it with those effects. I think you'll agree that it's a little stronger. However, I really just want to make a custom patch if you'll allow me to try. Sir Chance. So let's find the MIDI for that. This is why I keep these around. It's the SH lead. Take that bad boy, grab him down. Please move. Please. There we are. Right there. Shaboom. Okay. See if that fits. Oh yeah, this is gonna be 10 times faster. So here we go. Let me just show you some stuffs. Let's take a lead, a synth lead. Let's take something that is monophonic. Actually, let's just not. Let's just make a blank. I'll show you how to make one of these. So a lot of this has to do with just playing pitch bend. That's obviously very, very in your head. So a couple of things we can do here just right off the bat is take envelope 4, drag the attack up. Turn the volume down. We're going to get a lot more character out of this. Next, I'm not familiar with Snail's House. Are you really wanting it to sound that certain way? By all means, use it. You always have your original files. You can totally delete everything I do. But what I hear is 2 things. Number 1, let's choose, instead of a square, let's do something like a smooth square. That way, this is an authentic 8-bit sound. It's a square wave. It's just rounded off the attack. And then let's go to our effects. Let's add the chorus that I was talking about. Already has a lot more character. And then let's take reverb. Let's add a second oscillator, an octave lower. That way it's doubled. That adds a lot of depth to it. Maybe some ring mod. So ring modulation is when you you filter in some harmonics. So you can see this little knob here. Isn't that cool? And the last thing I would like to do is add some sort of glide. Oh, where are you hiding? Right here in the oscillator tab. So let's do glide. I think I have to drag the 4. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's been too long since I've done this. I'm getting rusty. Oh no, it's here. Monophonic legato. Now let's try the MIDI out. See how that sucker works now. Thoughts, impressions, comments? Part here is also, if you like that sound, I dig it, is to take, I'll just call it massive lead. You gotta do a lot of scoops. I feel like this might be a better patch for the biggest stuff, so we'll call it massive lead 2. Call this one number 1. And what I'm thinking here is let's get to the big stuff and use the second one, kind of like you did with the bass, right? If you get to the big bass, that's the time to use that one. So I'm thinking like this. This first one, let's not do all the crazy extra octaves and all the extras. So for example, let's maybe just do one oscillator. Wait, it feels a bit puny. It still needs all the love. Might even change the ring mod here. There we go to the second octave, so we can make 3 of these things. So this one can be called lead 3, lead 2. Let's just stack them as we go. That way number 2 has that second octave, the first one just has the first one. That way they feel a bit more intense each time, and it's using the same patches. So here's what it sounds like. You can keep this snail house if you want. In the background. Where I feel like we're really missing is the mod wheel. So this little line. Let's do it. Next line. not get that one right. So here we can do the exact same thing. I would call this a section change. Let's put some markers in here. Just for the heck of it, we'll call that B. Let's close up the MIDI so we can see more stiffs. Add a track for markers. Just call it markers. That way we know what's going on here. So I'll make all my markers gold so I can see them. If that's a B section. Right there, that'd be a good spot to, not mess up all my MIDI. Now that we have 3 different layers of the massive lead, we can actually just take it and drag it to the one that's the most appropriate. Yeah, that sounds good because now the big bass comes back in. So this is a good spot to use the massive lead 3, which is all 3 octaves. Maybe right there. We'll go from 2 to 3. Let's work on this ending for a sec. It needs more of a bang. Even something as simple as a new massive instrument where at the very end we hit that 4th octave. I'll call it end lead. Let's play. Sort of beef it up. Okay, so Chance says there's more to the song. Since he cut it up for this stream to make it smaller. Well, I'm gonna work with what we got. If it's just the bass bum 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 bob. Well, Chance, because you have more to this track, I'm not going to worry about it. I'd love to hear what else you got going on after that. Maybe you can take some of these ideas I'm doing here today and kind of extend them out. But the idea is I would want more of a big swoosh, something that really gets our interest. Let's take a little inventory from the beginning and see what else we need to do. This reverse will do the trick. It helps. Need some kind of big perk, something. What's this riser? Another helpful doodad. So let's take that. So it seems to start. What is that? 2 bars. All right, 67. So this is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 bars wide. So I'm going to go to the end and count 6 bars backwards. Oopsies. Just trying to beef up that end a little bit. Okay, that's one more little element that can help. I'm also chopping up the samples to better see what we have to work with. honestly, I feel like, Chance, that by cleaning up the main synth, it gives it so much power throughout. By beefing up the low end by just boosting the bass, putting a little bit of compression and EQ on the drums, it's so fat now. I think those were really the core issues, and it really sounds quite good. And the sound effects are going to do their thing regardless, because you're leaving a lot of space for them. So I'm honestly just wondering if there's anything else I need to do on this track. I'd love to hear any thoughts you might have in the chat, guys, before I wrap this thing up. I'm pretty dang happy with it, aside from maybe a little mastering at the end. Those are way too loud, the samples. Probably from my dang compressor here. I bumped them too high, which you can't see because I'm talking. There we go. I'm gonna put that back to nil, to 0. That's a sick pad too. Are you using that anywhere else? Oh, it's so good. Maybe you can use it again. Let's go. What's going on there? Huh. I don't think that helps you at all. Was that a mistake? All those scrubby sounds? I don't think that helps the mix at all. Where was the other bass? Is it the big lead? Yeah. This original bass needs a little clean up because it's getting a little scratchy. So let's take him. Let's put a Pro Q. Let's find exactly where the sweet spot is. Otherwise, it just feels a little like it's taking up room it doesn't need to. Yeah, so you gotta be really careful. This is a little teaching point for those who are still stuck around. Gotta wait to the end for the good stuff, guys. Don't you know? Basses have a way of taking up way too much space if you're not careful. A couple of tricks you can do to clean them up, but in this case, it's actually just carving them out. Each of these basses has a really cool, unique feature, and we don't want them all to play all the things. And one of the dangers of massive or what else might we use? Omnisphere, right? Some of these patches are just literally massive, and because they're using low, mid, and frequent and high frequency ranges. So we need to dedicate, okay, is this bass, which of the three is it? Because if you try to do all three, it's going to take up too much space when you have this many things layered on top of each other. And it also helps that right now I'm working with audio instead of MIDI. It helps us actually see exactly which parts of the frequency spectrum we are using. So this is very helpful, and I hope it's helpful for you, Chance, as you're kind of visually seeing, because like we just detected a completely empty section of a bass, which sounded really weird and it was taking up a lot of room. So what I'm looking at right now are these 3 basses, and I want to make sure that each, when stacked on top of each other, that we're using the right frequency ranges. So I'm feeling like this 8-bit bass, this square lead, really just needs to sit right there in the bassy range, versus, and whoops, I left my analyzer on. Don't do that. It takes up a lot of CPU and RAM. Turn those off when you're not using them. Bass 2, let's do the same thing. I'm just going to put the same old Fab filter on each of them. Here's what this sounds like. Super cool sound, but it's also taking up a lot of space. See that? You really find where it shines the best. So when you mix the two, well, let me get to the third one, which is the Osc Pad. This is really the high range. And Chance did a great job mixing 3 different basses that feature a little bit of each of the frequency ranges. But this one, if we use too much of the bass, it's going to clog up the mix, especially the drums. And we have to compress them, and that's no good. So here's the high. Now we actually have the power to turn things up because the mix is no longer taking up space it shouldn't. That this bass, I think, can use a little bit more. Now we start laying that stuff together with the other instruments. Now we got a lot more headroom. Can you guys hear how much the Mario theme is cutting through now because we did that EQ earlier? This like telephone booth style where it's only that mid-range, mid to high range. It now cuts through because now all of the other instruments are focusing on the low end and mid-range. So now this little telephone thing really just cuts through and there's no difficulty hearing it in the mix. Now we got a little bit of distortion and it's not taking up too much room. feel like this harsh pad is way too loud for this one section only. So let's just call it what it is, harsh pad 2. Move it down here. Let's just take that one item, turn it down a lot. It's a cool little subline thingy, but it's just too much. Boo. Maybe end with a little drop. That sounds so bad. I think it's the reverb of the bass drop. Cool. Well, hey guys, I think that about wraps it up. I feel happy about that. What do you think, Chance? Do you think I did it any justice? I mean, all in all, there's enough weird stuff going on here that it's a very unique and cool track, and it's, like I said from the beginning, it was a cool track to start with, and really the only production type things were to focus on the intensity of the drums throughout to get more impact. The bass needed some cleaning up. The melodic lines just need a lot more beefing up with chorus, with reverb, with delay. And then we learned by stacking octaves in different intensities, you could actually create different amounts. So we had a lot, just to kind of recap here, we had a lot of moments where we could take just a single octave and then make it 2 octaves and then make it 3 octaves. And that helped a lot with the intensity. Just to show a quick example of that. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I love these sound effects. They really help give it a lot of nostalgia and love for the transitions. Like putting that pipe in there and the little, hey, listen, all these cool little references make it really interesting. And I think that's really the engaging piece here is all the retro elements. So cool. I think let's wrap it up there. Quick little recap of the mix that I did. You'll notice I used mostly Fab Filter, just EQ, to clean things up, to really find shapes that made sense for that instrument, right? And really none of these look the same. They're all just different curves that really serve the purpose of that instrument, so that it's not taking up any information that it doesn't need to. And Chance asked in the chat, would you mind if I linked to the original on the final upload? For some reason it didn't sound quite right when you played it at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, sure, absolutely. Please share with us what the original sounds like so we can kind of compare and contrast. I did a little bit of compression with the drums to help give some just more oomph throughout. And that one little moment I wanted to add some distortion, so I threw on Guitar Rig Screamer in a cabinet there just to give it some screamage to that synth line there. Take it or leave it. And then from there, some of these sample drums things, just do some little techniques to try to beef them up. And of course, making my own massive leads there helped a lot, I think, with beefing up the intensity of the melody. So the kind of the final piece here that I like to try is adding some Ozone. I feel like Ozone has a way of, as a mastering plugin, it helps to kind of glue things together to add more intensity and more dynamic range. And so what I want to try to do is find a preset here that is electronic. I feel like that's going to make a big difference. And there's only a few tabs here. So EQ, let's see if we can go through a little bit. Let's do clear mid-range. For imaging, let's choose, let's do multiband depth to really make space because this track really uses all the ranges. Maximizing, let's try the most modern IRC, the algorithm. Let's put it at -0.1. Let's go to just -3 because it's already a pretty loud track. I think it's going to help a lot. And to save your ears, I'm also going to turn down my desktop audio by -1.4. It won't peak, but I also don't want the volume to be so much louder that you guys like scream and kill me. So that's essentially what we're doing right there. And I hope that you'll hear the difference. I do want to add one more element. And I want to put a dynamics. Let's put it after the EQ, before the imaging. And this is compression. Because it's super EDM, I want to make sure that we do something. Let's try modern crisp. I think that'll help. So you notice how you can choose the different bands here, and they're all compressed separately. So the low end, for example, is at -12, while the high end is at -23. So obviously in dance music, you want the low end to feel louder. That's all that really means. So it's an exponential curve all the way down to the compression of the high end. So I think it's a pretty cool thing that you can choose these presets and then adjust them as you need to. But these are like serious limiting 10 to 1 ratio. It's pretty extreme. So I think you're going to hear all automatically. If I just play, let's find like the loudest section with this on. Much beefier. Now let's turn off Ozone and you'll hear the difference. Same section. Man, what a difference, right? So yeah, we got all kinds of great features here. And yeah, I think we're off to the races here. So thank you guys for being a part of this Level Up Live. Thanks Chance Martin for sending us a really cool track. If you want to be part of your own Level Up Live, go to stephenmalin.com/leveluplive. I'm going to type that right now into the live chat bar. So those of you who just want to click on it, you certainly can. It's stephenmalin.com/levelup. Or you can also support me on Patreon, which I appreciate you guys who already support me there monthly. That's what helps support this show, this channel. I have 7 different shows on this channel. And I'm very excited about it because I'm actually doing it. I'm being consistent this year, and I have a pro videographer and editor helping me put together all the produced videos. So just a little shout out for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going to be a release of a new video. It's going to be a YouTube premiere where we are doing a review of Saga, which is acoustic trailer percussion by Red Room Audio. And there's going to be a free giveaway for those of you in the live chat who can answer some questions. Whoever gets the most points at the end will win. So it's going to be super fair for everyone who participates. Hope you guys can be a part of that. But here we are. This is Chance's Level Up Live version of Pure Nostalgia that we just worked on. So enjoy full 3 minutes. And I'm going to post in the comments below. I'm going to put a pinned comment of the original track that you can compare it to that Chance is going to send me. You can listen to this one, and I'll send him these files for him to use as he wishes. So thanks, guys, for being a part. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10.